How do they do it? Why do they do it? Riding and crashing and riding and winning and always faster and faster.
Welcome back everybody to With Antone Motogp 2025. And first of all, thanks to everybody who's been watching. It's been fantastic. Some comments are coming in. It's really good. It's really nice to engage with the community. So we're post-Hungarian Grand Prix, that weekend between now and Catalonia coming up next weekend. So I wanted to jump in and talk a little bit about a couple of the manufacturers, and I want to start with Ducati. Now, Ducati, let's go back to the pre-season. Pecco and Marc Marquez both agreed on the bike that they would ride this year, the 2025. And Pecco is on record saying, yes, we're both developing it in the same way. In fact, he made a comment that they were aligned. So let's put these things in order here. Now, Marc Marquez never rode the 24 Ducati. As we know, when he was with Gresini, he rode the 23. But Pecco rode the 24. So you've got two different people coming at it from two different angles. So they built the 25 Ducati des Medici, and that's no one's fault. The team developed that together. So Marc Marquez is now winning on the 25. And Pecco is not doing so well on the 2025. As we talked about, you know, there's some challenges that he's got. So let's talk about a couple of reasons why this is going on. Now, you remember at the beginning of the 2025 season, well, towards the end of 24, Ducati lost a lot of talent. Jorge Martin, the world champion, Bezzecchi, Bastianini, all stepped off their Ducati 2024s and went their own way. So what it's now meant is that Pecco has not got anyone's data that he can copy anymore. Now, the paddock knows, and we all know out there in the MotoGP world, Marc Marquez's data is not data that anyone can really copy. Look at Honda. Now, you know, famously Cal Crutchlow said, you know, you can see the data, you can see what he's doing, but you can't copy that. So Pecco can't follow anybody, so now he's a little bit lost. But the one positive, and we talked about this last episode, Pecco seems to be doing this mitigation approach. He's saying now he's happy running around in ninth. He's saying and acknowledging that he's got a whole team working behind him. So I think he started on 2026 6 months earlier. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the Misano tests. Now, talking about San Marini, Yamaha, they've decided that they're going to run the V4 for the first time, which is funny. Normally a manufacturer will run it in public first, but we're going to see it at a race. We're going to see Augusto Fernandez jump on that bike, and we're going to see how it performs. Now, when we've talked about performance clauses before, with Jorge Martin, everybody was outraged. Martin can't use his performance clause. He's not doing the right thing by Aprilia. Well, guess what Yamaha have done? They have enacted a performance clause, so Oliveira will be leaving. They had a performance clause. If he wasn't performing in a certain way, and we know he's running towards the bottom, yes, he's had a lot of injury. So where's Oliveira going to do? What is he doing? Is he going to go and be a test rider with Aprilia, or is he going to try to pursue, there's not too many options on the MotoGP grid, or is he looking at maybe now going across to World Superbike? So we'll have to wait and see. Oliveira's out, Jack Miller's in, and for me, it really highlights the fact they put Jack Miller into the Yamaha team. They put him in there because he's a good development rider. He's had experience on the V4 engines. You know, he brings that experience from Ducati, where he was the development rider there. He went from Pramac to the works team, and he's also done the development work when he was at KTM. But you know what it confirms? It confirms to me that Yamaha are saying, Fabio Quartararo, you are not a development rider. You're the guy that we can put on the bike to get the most out of it, and you go and win a race, but he's not a development rider. Look at when he won his world championship on Yamaha, that bike was sorted. He just jumped on and he went. So otherwise, if you're not acknowledging that, then they would have gone for youth. They would have put someone next to Top Rack from perhaps Moto 2, So this confirms with me that Yamaha are acknowledging they may be paying him 12 million euro a month. I'm sorry, if it was a month, that'd be great, a year. But he can't develop a bike. Otherwise, they would have made a different decision. And before we go, I want to talk a little bit about Honda, HRC. Now, we've seen great progress with HRC in the last couple of rounds. We've seen them moving up to the top of the grid. In particular, you've got Luca Marini, who's come back from that serious injury and really proving to be a good development rider. And you've got Johann. We know Johann can find a crash, but they've been doing quite well. But what's going on with Zarco? Now, Zarco's expressed his desire to be the #1 rider. Well, that's not happening. But what we're now seeing is he's not getting the parts supplied to him. Now, if you listen to what's happening in the paddock, apparently his deal with HRC stipulates he'll get the parts. But here's the problem. It's not the deal with HRC he has to worry about. It's what Alberto Puig is doing with HRC. Now, Alberto Puig, love him or loathe him, is a very unique character, and he's not going to supply. He wants HRC to be successful, so that he's prioritizing parts to his riders, so Zarco's missing out. Now, HRC, you know, what more can Zarco do? He's won a race this year. He's placed highly in other races. He's been to the Suzuka 8 Hour twice and won the race. And I think it's something that is really quite a detriment to what Zarco's doing. Now, we know Zarco, he famously jumped on that Tech 3 Yamaha when he first came into MotoGP, multiple Moto2 champion. He did really well. But then he made the decision to go to KTM. Now, we know what KTM is, don't we? KTM are career killers, and they killed his career. Zarco couldn't ride the bike and he left. And there's been a litany of riders that have been ruined by KTM. I've made an episode on this, if you might want to jump back into my earlier catalogue and you can see this. But yeah, so HRC pretty clearly under the guidance of Alberto Puig, prioritising the development, new frame, new aero and other features, swing arms and so forth. Zarco's not getting those. So I don't know where that leaves Zarco. I'm not too sure exactly what it's going to do. Now, before I finish up, I want to just acknowledge Jonathan Ray, 6-time world superbike champion, announced his retirement. Now, that guy's a legend. And you remember back in 2012, he famously jumped on HRC. He jumped on the Casey Stoner's bike at the time. He ran to 8th position in Misano, 7th place in Aragon. Now, think about that. If Toprak can get a 7th, top 8 ride finish next year, that'd be fantastic. Anyway, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please give it a thumbs up. Or if you'd like to drop a subscription, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. And we look forward to next weekend, the 5th to 7th of September for Catalonia. But until then, it's bye for now.